What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to review the new Aara record, Triade 3 Nix. I'm just going to call it Nix from here on out. This was an inevitable review. Aara is one of my favorite bands, period. I just love everything that they've released. This record is gladly no exception. I personally think it is the band's best work. I'm not exactly sure what superlatives to use. I think it's their darkest. Might maybe be their most explosive, sort of cinematic almost. It does seem to have a very good flow moving throughout the entirety of the record. And I also think it's probably their most melancholic record overall. It sort of taps in more into the like traditional black metal ethos of being just pretty depressing. So kind of on that note, I actually read Melmoth the Wanderer, which is the novel that the past three records are based on, earlier this year. It was a bit of a slog. It's a really, really long book. The writing is very dense, and I love gothic horror, but it's not my favorite entry in the genre. But I'm glad I read it, both because I love these records and because it's a justified classic. And it was cool to see how the novel informs the lyrics, but also the music on these past three records, but specifically Nix. And I also actually sat down and started to translate the lyrics from each of the past three records from German into English. My German's pretty rusty, and it's also a very like highbrow poetic type of German, so it's probably not the best translation that exists. But it was a fun project, and it's really cool to just like engage with a band in this way. A band I really like to this extent, and sort of really dig into the music like that. So Aara's past three records have all been 6-track, roughly 40-minute releases. So it's actually really impressive to me that they've managed to avoid becoming a pretty formulaic band. The past three records each have their own unique characteristics. They each have unique sort of musical signatures and thematic concepts that they deal with. While feeling like an overarching whole, they're still different enough to not just feel like they're churning out the same record again and again, which is especially impressive when you consider that they've been releasing an album a year for the past 5 years. That's no small feat. Some solo projects don't even release music that often, so it's really cool. For me, at least personally, it's cool to get music at this pace because I love this band so much and I think they really can't do any wrong. So musically, this record is, like I said, definitely darker. There's a lot of really sort of just traditional black metal moments on this record where you have just like just a big bombastic like Nordic sounding riff. You also still have the highs and lows, the emotional sort of currents that flow throughout the record. So the vocals are still as shrieked and high-pitched as ever. I actually saw a review, I don't quite remember where, but they said their only complaint with this project was that the vocals were kind of just like unvaryingly high-pitched shrieks. That doesn't really bother me. I think it fits the style of music really well. And I just love the sort of ethereal, inhuman layer that vocal style brings to music like this. The guitar riffs are very densely layered, very extremely melodic, still heavily influenced by classical music, it sounds like. I think that's always been a sort of intentional trope of the band, is sort of having these really densely sort of orchestrally composed songs. Drums are just unbelievably good. I think this is the best drum performance from the drummer in this project, who goes by Jay, I think. He's in a couple other bands, but his drum work on this record and in Aara in general just really shines. It is unbelievably fast. Like some of the drum fills sound unreproducible. Like they were just played once in a studio and that was it. Like it sounds like he's playing at his limits constantly, but still within like a sort of a attainable level of play. Unbelievable drumming. I'm not a drummer myself. I'd probably appreciate it more if I was, but even as someone who has no experience playing drums, it's just unbelievable what this guy manages to do. The fills, the flourishes, the just outright intensity of the blast beat sections, it's unbelievable. Tracks like Heimgesucht and Moribunda on this record especially shine through. This is definitely a record that's meant to be engaged with in its entirety. It's short, it's 40 to 45 minutes. I actually did a poll recently on my Twitter asking what people thought the ideal length of a black metal record was. Most people answered 30 to 45 minutes, which is about what I would say. Maybe I could do a little over 45, but that's about ideal for me, and Aara falls right into that sweet spot. It is just enough well-composed music to really scratch that itch for me while not overstaying its welcome. I love this band. I love this record. I'm really excited to see what comes next because this is the final record in the trilogy that they've released, so I'm curious if they'll still keep up the same pace, keep releasing albums once a year, or what lies in store for this band. I don't think they'll ever play live. I think they've been on record saying that, but that would be a cool option in the future too. So I appreciate you guys checking out the review. Appreciate you guys watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I hope you guys have a great day.